Morning, Holly. What's the matter?
This just come in for you. From the marshal up Santa Fe.
Jack Barron, huh?
Yeah, him. Him and that gang of his.
Now, settle down, Holly. We'll manage.
Manage? He's even got the law running.
Nobody's running.
Well, what do you call that? Marshal telling you that Barron's riding in here after plundering a ranch up at Greenhaven. For you to catch him. It's out of his territory.
That's just what we'll do.
Well, did you read why he's coming?
Yeah, one of his gang bragged they were going to kill Billy Bonney.
Now, ain't that something? What do you think they'll do to this town before they're through?
They're not going to do anything to this town. Barron probably won't get here before nightfall. That'll give us a chance to get ready for him. Anyone else know about this?
No. Oh, Miss Heller was in the office when the message come in.
Well, don't tell anyone else just yet. You get on back to your office. I want you to send a wire in a few minutes.
Why do you suppose they're after Billy?
That's what I'll find out. As per information from Santa Fe, Barron traveling with his men should arrive in Lincoln no later than 6 p.m. this day. Request immediate military help. Signed, Garrett, Lincoln County, New Mexico Territory. You got it?
Just so long as the Army got it, Mr. Garrett.
You relieved, Holly?
I will be when I see them soldiers in those streets out there.
Here he is.
He didn't tell you what they wanted to see me about, did he, Bert?
Nope. They gave me a chance to ride, and I said that's better than shooting horses for old Traeger.
What are you saying, Patrick? What's all the stir about?
Thanks, Bert. Let's go in.
Better be good, boy. I left Tundrell. Baling some hay, I ought to be doing.
Billy, when did you ever run up against Jack Barron?
Well, what do you know?
You like to say you've been expecting something.
Yeah, you might say I have, Patrick.
All right, put that gun away. Yeah, read this.
What's that? Jack Barron. Yep. Yeah.
Now tell me, why does Jack Barron want to kill you?
Well, you should go to offer me some refreshment first. I mean, this is a long story, Patrick, and I've been riding in here, got some dust in my throat.
If Jack Barron's coming into this town looking for you, I want to know why.
Well, it ain't because I robbed a bank with it and I ran off with the money. That's what's bothering you. I was kind of worrying you, wasn't it, Patrick?
You haven't answered my question.
Well, I was up around near El Paso a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, go on.
I was visiting Juan Gomez on his ranch up there, you know, when a couple of fellas came on his land and tried to steal some of his cattle without paying.
Billy, what were you doing up there?
Well, Juan's got a pretty daughter, Patrick. Now, wait a minute. You want to hear the story, don't you?
Yeah, all right, go ahead.
All right. I politely pointed out to these two crooks how wrong it was to steal a man's cattle. Then they tried to draw on me, and one of them died.
And the other one?
Well, I wounded him. I guess I shouldn't have let him ride away, huh?
Billy, why didn't you tell me this before?
That's none of your business.
Well, it is now.
Is what I just heard true, Mr. Garrett?
I don't know what you heard, Mrs. Murphy.
Ann Wickett heard from Mrs. Heller that Holly told her that this town's going to be overrun by the Barron gang. They're coming looking for him.
That's right, ma'am.
I'll take care of this, Billy.
No, wait a minute, Patrick. I'm the one they're after. Jack Barron is looking for me, ma'am, but he ain't interested in hurting anyone around here, if that's what you're worried about.
Hortense, I told you to stay away from here. Sheriff, I've got a $400 mirror over in that saloon, not counting another $300 in goods. Now, who's going to protect me and Hortense and the saloon from this mayhem?
Is this the kind of talk that's going through town?
Why, it's going like wildfire. And why shouldn't it?
Just think, half hour ago I was nice and quiet pitching hay.
Oh, don't be a smart aleck. How do you come getting mixed up with a murderer like Jack Barron anyway? Maybe you're too sensitive to answer that.
Maybe I don't want to answer that, Mr. Murphy. You wipe the noses here, Patrick. I'm going to take care of this on my own. Jack Barron ain't coming into this town.
Just stay where you are.
Let him go, Sheriff. If he wants to be so cocksure of himself, why mess up the town? Or maybe you've never seen how Barron works.
He's not going to work here.
No. They're a rough company, let me tell you, Sheriff. The law's been after Barron for better than 15 years. He got his start in Kansas during the war.
I know. He rode with Quantrill's raiders.
Butchers is what they were. Quantrill, younger brothers, Jesse and Frank James, and Jack Barron. They killed better than 200 people. Men, women, and children in Lawrence, Kansas. That's where I got this leg. I was just a kid.
It's you who's brought all this to Lincoln. It's you.
No, you're wrong, ma'am. I'm riding out to meet Barron just as soon as Mr. Garrett here will allow me to leave, and I'll settle it in my way. Just like I settled one of his men up in El Paso.
That's why they're coming after him. But you're not settling this your way, you're settling it mine. I'm not letting you get slaughtered.
Why don't you consider it?
Just practical.
You mean you'd miss me?
All right, Billy, let's not carry this too far. You're still a citizen under my jurisdiction, and I'm not having any personal vendettas carried out in Lincoln County. The law and the Army will handle this.
Mrs. Heller never said nothing about the Army.
I sent a wire to Fort Stockton 20 minutes ago. The Army will be here by nightfall. Mrs. Murphy, maybe you'd better get your stories complete before you come storming in here.
I'm sorry, Sheriff. I really am. That puts another complexion on the whole matter. Well, let's tell him, Averill. And close your mouth. You want to catch a fly in it?
Good. Good. In case I need some extra help, I can count on you.
Sure. Sure thing, Sheriff. Anything for law and order in Lincoln County.
What are you going to call out the Army to protect me, huh, Patrick? You mean to tell me the whole U.S. Army, the United States of America, is going to protect little old me?
Billy, I don't see anything amusing in this.
Oh, don't you? Listen, I was thinking maybe I ought to get a medal or something, Patrick, for kind of leading old Jack and his boys into a baited trap. I mean, here they want to kill me, and you and the Army just going to drop a noose right over the necks. Boy, that's something.
Yeah. And you are staying right in here until it's all over. I don't want you messing things up.
You keep trying to keep me here, Patrick.
Bet?
Yeah, I'll bet you.
What is it now, Holly?
I just got a reply from Fort Stockton. They can't send any men for 2 days.
Did you tell them out there about this?
Well, why shouldn't I told them?
Why can't the Army come, Holly?
Because they only got a small guard at the fort. All the rest of them are ridden against the Comanches up at Pluter Lake. They don't have nobody to send, Mr. Garrett.
Garrett! Come on out, Sheriff. We want to talk to you. Well, now what are you going to do, Garrett?
And don't fool us. We know the Army's not coming.
This is a fine kettle of fish you got us into here.
It didn't get you into anything, Mr. Murphy. This is my business.
That's right. And you better all understand that before we go another step. Billy here shot one of Jack Barron's men in self-defense when he found him rustling another man's cattle. Barron's coming after him to even the score. That puts a member of this town in jeopardy.
Then what are you intending to do?
The law will take care of it. I'm deputizing every able-bodied man in this town.
Now, hold on a minute. We don't have any gunfighters that can stand up to Barron and his gang. Well, maybe you and Billy there, and maybe Bert.
What you're saying, Mrs. Murphy, you want the three of us here, maybe the army, to protect your town for you, right?
Now, kid, don't get smart. You're talking to my wife.
I'm talking to your wife with respect.
Let it be, April.
I got a solution to the whole thing, Mr. Garrett.
Yeah?
No disrespect about you shooting in self-defense. You still brought this on yourself. So why don't you just up and leave town, and Barron will have no call to come here?
What do you mean, run?
Yeah.
I never did know where you came from, Bert. Now I know why I didn't. Who'd you run away from, Bert?
Inside.
Close up the school. Get the kids and the women home and shut down your stores. I want every able-bodied man in my office in 10 minutes.
Sheriff! They're at Tunnel's Ranch, all of them.
All of who?
Barron and his gang. They're waiting for Billy to come back. They said if he don't come and meet him, they're coming in here for him. They're gonna burn this town to the ground if you try to protect him.
You figured they wouldn't come before nightfall, huh?
Sure must have pushed those horses hard.
Like I said, Patrick, they want me real bad. You better let me go.
What you gonna do now, Mr. Garrett?
If you're so kind as let me get on my horse, I'll be on my way.
We'll talk about it inside, Billy.
I ain't got that much time, Patrick.
Now do what I told you to do. I want this town closed up. Bert, get every able-bodied man, bring him to my office right away.
You're planning this whole thing, Patrick. What do you have me figured into it?
You tell me, but I'm not letting you handle it alone.
Well, that's sure whether or not there.
They're willing to see you run, too. That doesn't make them right. How far can a man run?
Yeah, well, at least we agree on one thing, Patrick. But you're gonna have a hard time keeping your eye on me, ain't you?
I don't think so.
Well, I don't think you could keep me in here. So that means you lose your bet.
Drop your gun belt, Billy. You're under arrest.
Oh, come on now, Patrick. Quit you fooling.
I'm not fooling. Drop it. All right, up the stairs. I'm charging you with disturbing the peace. You struck Bert Powell in front of the sheriff's office while carrying a gun.
Oh, come on.
Ordinance 463A1. A bylaw of Lincoln County Territory, amended April 19th, 1871. In. $36 or 36 hours in jail.
I ain't got any money with me.
And I still won the bet, didn't I, Billy?
Mr. Garrett, we're not organizing to save that kid.
How much time do you figure wasted?
But why should we risk our necks when he's sitting in here, safe and sound?
Barron's men will burn this town to a cinder. I know. I've seen him.
You tell us, Mr. Garrett. Just how far do you mean to carry your friendship for Billy?
Get him out of town and we won't have any problem.
He's been in trouble as long as he's been here.
You mean you'd let those men walk into town and shoot down somebody you don't like?
We don't owe nothing to Billy.
Well, maybe you don't think you owe something to yourselves, or your children. Look, it doesn't matter to me, and it shouldn't matter to you who Barron's riding into this town to kill. It's just a matter of whether law or anarchy is going to win.
Why are you forcing this on us, Mr. Garrett?
You're the one who's doing the forcing. You want Billy out of town.
He's just a troublemaker. We'd be better off without him.
For how long?
What are you talking about?
It's getting too close for comfort, I bet. Let him kill somebody you don't like. It's all right for him. If you don't like him, let him die.
Now, nobody said that.
Nobody had to, but that's what you're thinking. You're using your prejudice against Billy to hide your fear of Barron. Hand Billy over to him, sure. Maybe Barron won't steal your cattle this week. But what about next week? When he might want something else. When he might come after a friend of yours, somebody you like. When he might come after your wife. Or even your children. How are you going to appease him then?
Don't try rattling us, Mr. Garrett. I never saw Billy do any fighting for us.
This is not a fight over Billy. This is a fight over whether a man named Jack Barron can take over a decent, law-abiding community without somebody standing up to him and telling him that he can't do it, that he's going to go to jail. It's just as easy as that.
We came out here to build homes, not to take care of Billy Bonney.
Mrs. Murphy, that's what you're doing here today, defending your home.
And half of us laying in the street. Dead. No thanks, Garrett. I say if we don't try to fight Barron, he won't hurt us. Let's get on home.
Don't be foolish, Mr. Garrett. Unless you want him to burn down the jail.
What's the matter?
I hate to say it, Averill. I really do. Maybe Garrett's right.
Looks like you and I have been elected, Billy.
Well, that means you got to let me in the jail, huh?
Yep.
And you owe me $2.
Yeah.
And no fine.
No fine.
Well, looks to me like you lost all the way around, Patrick.
Not exactly. I'm deputizing you, Billy. Raise your right hand.
No, I want the people of this town to know I'm doing this strictly on my own. I don't want to be hiding behind any badge,
You
Patrick.
won't be hiding. Raise your right hand. In accordance with the law of Lincoln County Territory, I hereby swear to accept responsibility as a deputy and promise to carry out my duties in a lawful manner. Say it.
In accordance with the law... What is it?
Of Lincoln County Territory, I hereby swear to accept responsibility as a deputy and promise to carry out my duties in a lawful manner.
My duties in a lawful
All
manner.
right.
What difference does it make if I pull the trigger with a badge on my vest or no badge at all, Patrick?
The difference between order and disorder.
Oh, come on, now, what are you trying to tell me this little piece of tin is going to change things and make them better than they are?
If it's worn enough by people who believe in it, yes. Maybe someday it'll sink into the minds of men that it's better this way than any other.
Oh, come on, Patrick. That's just like saying people are going to stop using horses to get places.
Could be.
Even stop wearing guns, huh?
Yeah.
You want to bet?
Billy, we won't live that long.
Yeah, well, you're sure going to die trying, ain't you?
I don't know.
Well, they know I'm not coming by now.
Yeah, we'll wait outside where we can see him. I'm looking for the kid. Billy Bonner.
Right over here, Baron. Why don't you come in here and get me?
Don't try it. If you think much of this town of yours, Sheriff, you'll stay out of this. This is between the kid and me. This is between the law and you. You're under arrest, Baron. There are only 2 of you. You're bucking a bad bet, Sheriff, but that's the way you want it.
Well, what do you know, Patrick? The Murphys.
This who's protecting your kid? Murphy, get off the street. You're in a line of fire. Take care of him. How do you like my deputies, Baron? They're carrying shotguns they can't miss. Now, all of you, drop your guns. Shoot! Shoot them down!
You better not try anything, Baron. We got a mean bunch around here.
They're not hanging me! My thanks for whatever made you do it.
I guess it was Hortense first got us to sea. But I think we'll all agree you helped. Well, let's get him to jail.
You know something, Patrick? I didn't realize you were so eloquent. Well, at least you kept me honest, Patrick.
Just so it did some good.
Did a lot of good for the town here. They got your points.
And you?
I have to answer that, Sheriff. See you around, Patrick.